30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this match with the best of 3 tie-break sets. Sabalenka won the toss and chose to serve. End of 1.
7 in the world. She's up against the #1 player. And we're ready to get this semi-final going. So it will be Sabalenka to kick this one off. The world #1 serving first.
Aryna Sabalenka to serve. Ready, play.
So good at taking charge with that first strike after serve. So you can see here, the first one into the corner. She doesn't play that passively and then steps in. She's already on top of the baseline. And a redirect from cross-court to down the line. Perfection.
Oh, really? That was a really tough smash. Paolini able to get it very deep.
40-30.
Well, she set everything up pretty efficiently and then just a little hesitant on that smash. He was going backwards with the body weight. Oh, she's indicating there that the ball was moving around. Interesting to see her coming forward so much already.
Yeah, she knew as soon as she hit that it was going to fly long.
And already there's a lot of balls coming back at her.
Sabalenka has had a pretty tough run of it in terms of the opponents she's taken out. She hasn't dropped a set though, so has dealt with everything pretty effortlessly. But defending champion Danielle Collins in the round of 16. Zheng Qinwen, world #9. Chinese #1 in the quarters.
Well, that was a little half-hearted.
Advantage, Paolini.
Not sure that shot selection was quite right at that moment. The ball wasn't high enough, didn't get hold of it, and didn't execute it. So what looked like a fairly straightforward service game has become a bit problematic.
Yeah, off the back foot, she's still able to bring the power.
Yes.
Well, she is quite incredible with the power that she can create from different positions on the court. And here you can see she's actually having to move back, step back, to then step forward into that backhand and still found the line winner there. Well, that one, Paolini, a little rushed, and you could see that ball leaving her strings very quickly. couldn't control it. And that's the problem against Sabalenka, is how do you slow down the tempo where she's setting the pace and the tone of the match?
Let first serve.
Oh, that's annoying. She thought she'd served an ace. One day maybe that rule will go away, do you think? The let.
I think possibly. It's gone in the juniors. Well, she had to work fairly hard for it, but she is off and running in this first service game. First semi-final for Sabalenka here in Miami. Has been to the quarterfinals before. First semi-final here for Paolini as well. Paolini won a 1,000 event last year. Also reached the 2 Slam finals. You might remember her as the Wimbledon finalist. Lost in 3 sets to Krejcikova. Came very, very close.
Well, they were 2 of the great performers of 2024, weren't they, these two? And there'll be a lot of pressure on particularly Paolini to try to defend all those points in that period of time that's coming up. French Open on the clay and then grass at Wimbledon. But like Martina said, I sometimes think the way she goes about her business, she sort of just gets on with it, really, plays in the moment.
Just to add to the accolades, gold medal as well in the women's doubles at the Olympic Games.
15 left.
There's a kind of bounce and a joyfulness about what she brings out onto a tennis court. And again, that great big smile. She kind of wins a lot of fans over with just the nature of how she plays and the spirit she brings onto a court.
When we were watching her play in her previous round, I think Colin Fleming described her as having relentless optimism.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the score is, she completely believes in herself.
Yeah, that's a very good way of describing her. Very positive. She sort of hurls herself at the ball, doesn't she? She had both feet off the ground. Now, is that John Bon Jovi? I think it is.
It is indeed. Not his first visit.
No, he loves his tennis. I think he liked that forehand winner as well.
Let first serve.
Oh, there's his son and daughter-in-law, Millie Bobby Brown.
Played. She's so energised. I mean, so quick to realise and seize the moment. So you can see here she's taken that mid-court ball. A lot of players would have been quite happy just to play from the back with that, but she was willing to come forward. That in itself helped that forehand, and then very quick to take the drive volley. Yeah, that's the only danger, isn't it? If she puts in a slightly shorter second serve with not a lot of pace on it. And it's whether she kind of pulls back on first serves and spins them a bit and tries to get the accuracy with it. Or does she go for her first serves, but second serves might be a bit vulnerable.
Well, Paolini does have a win over Sabalenka in terms of their meeting. She in fact has 2. Their very first meeting was back in 2017. Paolini was ranked 130, Sabalenka was ranked 128. So they played each other on the way up. It was a win for Paolini. But in terms of their tour meetings, 3 wins for Sabalenka and 1 win for Paolini, which came in Indian Wells in 2022. But she'll feel like it is possible. They've had some tight matches along the way as well. She's never been completely dismissed by Sabalenka with sort of a 2-2, 1-2 very quick match. She's always been competitive. That's massive. That's 2 very quick points, isn't it? And it's so hard to get stuck into her service games when she's capable of just banging down the aces like that. You've got to just try and stay patient, hang on to any little crumbs that might come your way. Try and build on it. How many times do we see that, Naomi, these days on the Pro Tour, where players will not be moved behind that baseline? So even after serve, if that return is on the baseline, none of them want to step back, so they'll prefer to half volley it than to actually sort of take a step back and compromise and try and hit that next one. It's almost like they absolutely refuse to do it. Oh, it was quite a short second serve, but Paolini mistiming it. Some power on display from the world number 1. 2-1 in the early stages of this one. Well, we have a bonus match on the schedule today, just as we did yesterday, in fact. We will be seeing Novak Djokovic take on Sebastian Korda in their quarter-final match after this one. Frustrating day for them as they were held here until 11 o'clock at night before the decision was made to postpone it to today. It all ended up as a bit of a mess yesterday in terms of the schedule. That's the trouble when you are ambitious and try and fit more matches in. One long match and it all goes awry.
Love 15.
Looking to come forward so often is Paolini, leaning into the ball. Takes it as early as possible.
Yeah, you can see she's really frustrated at that. Felt that was just a routine rally ball that she's just missed. Put herself under pressure. And of course, when you're up against such a big server, every single point counts on your own service game. She knows if she goes down a break, this set could just be drifting away quite quickly. Well, she's fallen off that last ball. I don't know if she thinks that was long.
Yeah, she was waiting for a call. Yeah, I agree with you. I saw it good.
I don't even think it looked close.
Well, nothing's going to change. She just wants confirmation of where the ball exactly landed to make sure that the technology is working. She's not buying it.
No, she isn't. I think she's actually disturbed her focus and concentration there, hasn't she, from that last ball? Still thinking about what she considered a bad line call. Slapped at that forehand return.
There's always a threat of that. You don't know when it's coming.
Well, that's what makes her such a dangerous opponent, because you really don't know what's coming next and there's no rhythm to it. And that actually wasn't that easy, was it? That ball was kind of rearing off and rearing away from her, and she just smacked it down the line. Took it on the rise.
Sabalenka has such a wide return stance. It's quite intimidating because she's got very long legs and she really tries to cover as much of the court as she can.
Creates an enormous sort of pyramid triangle, doesn't she?
It's quite unique. I don't think anybody does it like that. That's pretty brutal.
Well done.
Sort out the wildlife.
Advantage.
Not to be underestimated, that first serve. Really good accuracy. Well placed. You could see Sabalenka edging towards her right there, thinking she was going to go out wide. So difficult to read off that ball toss.
Oh, that was the chance, maybe, just to really get on top of the rally. Oh, she'll be disappointed with that. And she's such a great player.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
Oh, I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think she must have thought that was going to come over the net lower and flatter, and it was actually quite a high forehand volley, wasn't it? It was almost like she had too much time on it. I always think high forehand volleys are actually quite tricky. They don't look it, but they are.
And it's a break of serve. Paolini was trying as hard as she could to resist. Sabalenka blasts her way through.
Yeah, that was an onslaught, wasn't it? Sabalenka just coming up with some massive strikes in the back of the court, and there's no let up. It's always coming at you thick and fast. You've just got to be ready for it. She's going to take time away. She's going to miss a bit, but you've just got to be able to hang in there, and it's not easy because she's controlling the tempo.
Well, Paolini's getting behind the ball, making her play one more.
Well, I think there's no question that the one she missed before got into her head trying to go for that one, and it's incredible how often that happens. So it's a little bit like an ice skater that's just missed a jump. They suddenly have to go for the next one, and you're kind of holding your breath because you think they're going to. You can see she actually almost hunches up there because she didn't want to hit that ball. Yeah, she's disgusted at herself.
Nice change up. That's something that we've seen her bring into her game over the past year or two, just that extra element.
Oh, not by much, and she hit that so well. Smart of Sabalenka to go back to that forehand volley again, ask the question.
She has been able to roll through some quick points on serve. Gets her again. That one was even better. Now, it's not like she's completely overwhelmed Paolini, but the score is very much in her favour.
Sabalenka leads by
One break of serve and leads 4-1. We've got some Bon Jovi ringing out in the stadiums. Bon Jovi is here. John Bon Jovi, that is, along with his son, Jake Bon Jovi, his wife, Millie Bobby Brown. We've had quite a few stars in the house. We saw Serena Williams earlier on in the tournament, Juan Martín del Potro, Messi.
Really? I missed that.
I was here yesterday. I didn't personally spot him, but I heard he was about.
Shakira was there last year on finals day, I remember.
And I'm sure they're all very impressed by what they've seen so far.
Led first serve.
Well, she's certainly not one to hold back, Sabalenka. We can never accuse her of that. But the way she goes after the ball, and so close to the lines, and as soon as that ball hit the line, you could see it just take off to the right. Paolini trying to play catch up there, couldn't get a body weight behind it.
Paolini currently seems to be finding a way to get a lot of balls back. She is dealing with the pace. She's not being overwhelmed, but it's then turning that into being able to do some damage of her own. At the moment, I don't know, we're not really seeing much.
Well, I think she doesn't have that sort of mixture of pace and the slice backhands. Yes, she can throw the odd drop shot in, and we're seeing her coming forward and everything, but I'm not sure she can outmaneuver her. She's being overpowered on a shot like that, you know, and it's hard for her. She's 5'4". She's got to try and catch up with these great big booming ground strokes, and it's just tough, especially on the fast court. I mean, if the court was a bit slower, I think it would be a very different type of match. But the ball is really lively. I think the one thing we can admire about Paolini is just her attitude is so positive all the time, isn't it?
I don't think I've ever seen anybody laughing and throwing their racket at the same time before.
Maybe the drop shot just wasn't quite short enough, but incredible the way she's gone for that. I mean, that is impressive, isn't it? But just not high enough. It wasn't a passing shot, it wasn't a lob, it was sort of in between. Well, I had fun having a go at it. That was an ambitious attempt, taking that ball down the line.
Yeah, and good work from Paolini. It's a very vocal team. It's just kept it to the one break. Needs to try and get stuck in on the Sabalenka serve, though.
Irani.
Yeah, Paolini's doubles partner. They won the gold together last year.
Oh, that's a clever shot. You're right, Nemi. She definitely has introduced a lot more of these drop shots and slices and a bit more variety. Her game is way more than it is just about power. I think she's enjoyed being a bit more creative.
And it has to be good to be too good for Paolini to even make a chase. And I think 4 times now the drop shot's just been way too good.
Yeah.
A lot of that, I suppose, is because Paolini's bracing herself for this massive strike that might be coming. But that's why it works for her.
That's absolutely right. She's sort of backing away, thinking that the power's going to come. And she's quite disguised the way she's hitting these drop shots. She thinks the take back is going for another booming ground stroke, and she just at the last minute grip change throws it in there.
You think?
Well, that was a great viewpoint of how much that ball is doing down the other end and how difficult it is for Paolini to read it and also then to catch up with that ball. Doesn't have that sort of leg stride, really, to get across the court.
Yeah, she keeps on moving, and she really is in charge of this.
Sabalenka leads by 5 games to 2.
Significant lead now in the first set. Sabalenka just a game away from wrapping it up. Well, yeah, let's run it back. Look at the tweener again.
Well, there's a real technique to it. Look how low she has to wait for that to drop before you can hit it, because there is a total technique. You don't try and hit it as it's high bouncing. You have to almost hit it as it's about to bounce again. That's why it's even more incredible when you see players go for that and then they end up with a lob.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Did you play many tweeners?
No, I literally can't do it. It was never around when I played, but I'm willing to have a go.
It's a real skill, though. You have to actually train. You can't just figure it out on the fly. You have to have a different grip, and as you say, no way you need to contact the ball. I'm sure she'll be very happy that she made it, because she has been practicing. Well, there's just no match for it. That sort of pace, that close to the lines. Net cord doing the bulk of the work there.
15.
Well, it's unsurprising that Sabalenka has come out so sharp, especially after the previous victories over Collins and Zheng. Very, very strong and experienced players.
They're quite efficient scorelines, aren't they? She hasn't dropped a set yet.
30-15.
Okay, one was a retirement against Rusa after the first set, but other than that, 6-3, 6-love, 6-4, 6-4, 6-2, 7-5. No one has really, really pushed her in this tournament.
Running through the back of that one.
40-15.
Just hasn't quite been able to have enough sustained impact on Sabalenka. Sabalenka's team, coach on the right. Anton Dubrov on the right. Long-time coach of Sabalenka now.
He always looks so calm, doesn't he? His expression never changes. He always looks very worried, actually, but you know, she's been very true to him, hasn't she? At one point he was almost resigning. When she had all those serve problems and it just wasn't working, and she, you know, it had reached rock bottom, he said, I think it's time for you to find somebody else. And she went, no, you're staying. I'm going to find somebody else to fix it, but you're staying with me. And I thought there was something quite nice about that. And he was able to share in that first Grand Slam win at the Australian Open. I think there were a lot of tears that day. Well, what a run of points this has been, from game points that she had to try and take it to 5-3 and force Sabalenka to serve it out. All of a sudden, this is what Sabalenka does. She just goes on a run. Back-to-back winners. What's that point now?
Now,
Second set, Sabalenka to serve.
It really did start to slip away quite quickly.
Quite a noisy stadium, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, stadium within a stadium.
Well,
it's quite
that's true.
echoey as well.
Yeah, it's big.
It does feel vast. We've got the warm-up play area for the players as well, just outside on the field. Normally home to the Miami Dolphins.
Subtle, but very effective, and she hasn't gone for the big booming first serve. She's thrown in a slow kicker, which gets a slightly different reply, and then she's able to smack that one down the line. So always keeping her opponents guessing all the time. It's not all-out power every single service delivery. She's dragged that one wide.
30-15.
Sometimes I think she does get a little bit impatient, which would be her own admission, but that's something she's worked so hard on, isn't it? To try to build a more solid base game to then be able to elevate into the power. Again, she's just catching it a tiny bit late. She's trying so hard to stay up on that baseline, not get pushed behind it, because she knows she can't possibly play aggressive tennis from too far behind the baseline. You can see how tough it is for her to keep up with this ball and the pace of it.
Oh, that's as good as it gets. This is far too much for Paolini to live with right now, and she can live with a lot. Too good from Sabalenka. Well, Sabalenka has 3 Grand Slam titles now. They've all come on hard, 2 at the Australia, 1 in New York. She has made semi-finals of the French Open and 2 semi-finals at Wimbledon. Does she have those Grand Slam titles in her future?
Well, I think for sure she has a great shot at Wimbledon, but she seems to have always just faltered in those semi-finals. And I think the year that was really painful was when she wasn't allowed to play for all the political reasons and everything. And the 2 players that she'd beaten, Ons Jabeur and Rybakina, had made it to the final, and she'd beaten both of them the year before. So I think that was very, very painful, and she found it very hard watching that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's actually only played Wimbledon twice out of the last 5 years of time, because it didn't happen in 2020. She reached the semi-finals in 21. 2022 she wasn't allowed to play, being from Belarus. She made the semi-finals in 2023, and then last year she couldn't take to the court for her first round because she was unwell.
And when you look at, you know, everything that we're seeing in evidence here today, and the fact that she's so willing to keep coming forward as much as she does, and we know what a good doubles player she was at the start of her career, and she really developed her sort of net game and trying to transition forward and everything. So, you know, with the power and the slice backhand. Yeah, and she's able to get that first strike in. You can see pinning Sabalenka into that forehand corner. And then once again, she's come up the back of the ball, dropped it short, a little bit more height on it, more time. And Paolini's able to give it the treatment. Oh, what a shame. That was an opportunity. Always smiling. Makes you smile with her. Had time on that ball, didn't she? It was just a tiny bit on the inside of it. Yeah, frustrating.
30 all.
Andiamo già, forza.
Sì, forza, forza.
Andiamo già, forza, forza.
Lei già sì.
Gosh, that missed by quite a distance, that last serve. Wasn't even close. Well, this ball did a lot of damage, didn't it? So you can see she sort of whipped up the back of the ball there just to create that angle with the wrist. And as you say, then really using the full width of the court. I mean, Paolini's doing pretty well on some of these returns to serve, isn't she? She's starting to get more of a racket to them, reading it a bit better. So many service games in that first set. Sabalenka was just banging down ace after ace, and this time Paolini's just blocking a few of them back and just floating it to the baseline, neutralising it. She's definitely forcing Sabalenka to dig deep here.
Oh, she does well to wrestle that back. Saves a break point. And keeps on top of this one. Standing ovation from the camp. She leads a set in 2-1.
All right, it's time for the Celsius fit check. Everybody, we're looking for some cool outfits. If we get you up on the big screen, show us what you got going on. It's time for the Celsius fit check.
Well, the fans have made a fair journey to get to the site here. Not the easiest place to get to, but in for a fantastic day of entertainment. Novak Djokovic to come next. Massive names in action here in Miami. Aryna Sabalenka, very much one of them. World #1, looking strong and sharp.
Well, that's rightly got a great response from the crowd, because that was not an easy volley. What a backhand down the line that was from Sabalenka. Surely she must have thought she'd won the point. Incredible lunging volley. She's almost horizontal when she played that one.
Well, she's going about it, well, it feels like she's going about it the right way, Annabelle. She's trying to lift her level, go for that bit more.
I think there's a lot of coaches out there who have a train of thought that is, they'd rather you played the right way, and even if you lose, you're doing the right things. And okay, there's a couple of balls where she's just missing 1 or 2 inches, or it's, you know, it's pretty close, but I think she is doing the right things. She's trying to stay up on that baseline and match her. She's trying to get the first strikes in, and she is trying to manoeuvre Sabalenka. Oh, that is amazing.
Not an easy shot to play that off backhand, but she made the space.
Look at that little quick adjustment with the racket face, the way she, as you said, the setup for the return of serve, but she has one of the best in the game. There's that racket well out in front of her, and then the minute she decides which way that ball is going, quick adjustment with the wrist to be able to, and compact backswing.
Job done for Sabalenka. Moves ahead in set 2, and it's a game of fine margins. Paolini had a break point in the previous game to get ahead, couldn't take it. And it's now Sabalenka that pounces.
I mean, that was a sensational return game from Sabalenka. And actually, if you just keep your eyes on her, you know, the footwork, the split step, and that really quick, compact take back on that return of serve enables her to meet that ball out in front, really hold her body position, and then strike through the centre of that ball. That was a brilliant return game. Well, she's got the bit between her teeth now, trying to build on the momentum she's built up. Only 55 minutes on court so far.
Oh, took it so early. Sabalenka didn't see it coming.
15 on.
Well, you can see the little step forward from Paolini and herself. Early take back and launches into that one. Look how far inside the baseline she is for that. Energised feet. Yeah, she's had enough of the last 2 points, hasn't she, Sabalenka? She just wants to get on top of that ball. Quick decision to come forward, ask the question. Wasn't the best approach shot, but just the fact that she was coming forward was stressful and rushing. It produced the error, so very smart tactics there from Sabalenka.
Yeah, I think she's feeling like the job is pretty much done. She's got the better of Paolini. It's now just a matter of
closing it out.
That's it. And she is stretching away now. Looking very, very good indeed. 2 games away from her first ever Miami Open final. Well, this is a semi-final match in the women's event between Sabalenka and Paolini, the top seed against the 6th seed here in Miami. In the other half of the draw, we got the 4th seed in Jessie Pegula, so 3 very strong names through to the semi-finals, and then we have Alexandra Ayala, a wild card, who has made her way through. She's taken out the Australian Open champion Madison Keys, and then she's taken out the world number 2 Iga Swiatek on her way. difficult for Paolini to get much traction in this match. Trying to do damage. It's worked at times. Hasn't been able to sustain it enough.
Well, those kind of points have been few and far between in this match. I mean, every time she is able to take control of the match, you know, she gets a lot of support. She's finding some gaps, but it's just building on it, isn't it? And being able to do it enough times.
Oh, it's colossal. That is colossal.
There's been a few times where that kind of serve, she's gone for that one down the line, but sometimes when she just gets out there, tracks the ball, gets the body weight behind it and sends it back with interest. I mean, that was never coming back.
Able to move her way forward in that point. So ticks off another game.
Sabalenka leads by 4 games to 2.
Yeah, a little bit frustrated. I'm sure there are elements of this match she feels like there's just nothing she can do about it.
Almost got the feet set too early there. The ball did something different and she wasn't in position. Needs to keep her own focus and concentration going here. She certainly doesn't want to let Paolini back into this. 9 unforced errors apiece. She's kept a lid on those unforced errors.
That's good anticipation and a good effort.
You can tell the crowd really appreciate the effort that she's throwing at this match. And again, look at that, reading the play, reading the patterns, and a nice volley from Sabalenka. Just had enough slice behind it just to get that ball to go away. Didn't sit up nicely. She's missed that.
You mentioned her strong doubles play and her strong doubles career, which she's put to one side now as she focuses on the singles. But in fact, her first 2 Grand Slam titles were both doubles wins alongside her partner Elise Mertens. And an opportunity now for Paolini with that double fault. It's a couple of break points. just about. Some good improvisation.
30-40.
So the first break point comes and goes. This is the second Sabalenka service game in this set that Paolini's had a break point.
Oh, playing it close to the wind there, but just smart tactics. Trying to play the percentage tennis, just got a good, fairly decent first serve in. Close to the line, it forces Paolini on the stretch. It's what you want to do, is make your opponent have to stretch and be off balance for that return of serve, and then she steps in and finds the open space.
Advantage.
Wow.
Turned around. Rather problematic game.
And what a serve that is. I think even if you know that's exactly where it's going to land, you can't do much about it. Well, despite a great effort from Paolini, Sabalenka is still yet to be broken in this match. Sees off the break points, no trouble at all. And is still on track to a nice, comfortable victory here. 7-5-2. Nice atmosphere inside the Hard Rock Stadium today. There's a Sabalenka fan. There's plenty of them around now. And looks like they'll get to see more of her. One game away now from a spot in the final.
Oh, that's one of the best points she's played in the entire match. What a quality point that was. So good when she's transitioning forward. Great technique on this volley. And even had to play that below the height of the net, but still the technique was so good. Well, homing in on victory now.
Yeah, she wants to get this done now. Done the bulk of the work. Has set the standards so high. It's just been too much for Paolini.
What a way to set up match point. Kind of sums up the match, doesn't it?
It is awesome. If you like your power tennis, it doesn't get better than this. Match point. She just goes from strength to strength, really feels like she's been building her game round by round, and she's not had an easy draw of it, but she's made it look pretty comfortable.
She really has. I think these conditions so suit her game, don't they? She looks very comfortable, she looks so at ease, she's got so much time on the ball, and she just has so much power that goes through the court. So the serve was spectacular, those returns were breathtaking. And it was great to see her transitioning forward. We saw her up at the net quite a few times today. She just totally took time away from Paolini, didn't give her any real opportunities. The few opportunities that Paolini created, she managed to navigate and stave off some potential tricky moments where she might have been broken and had to work a little bit harder. But she just came back with a run and a flourish, didn't she? So all in all, she's got to be very happy with that performance, very clinical.
Yeah, there were moments where things could have gone awry, but she didn't let it. Kept her head down, and it was a sharp-looking performance. I'm sure she will be delighted with that effort. And a first final. It was a first semi-final here in Miami. It just hadn't all quite come together for her, but that is absolutely the case this year.
Very warm handshake. I mean, the match was played in very, very good spirits. There were quite a few moments where there were chuckles and laughter. A few fun moments between the two of them, but nice to see such a warm embrace at the net after that as well.
Enjoying her time in southeast Florida. She has one title so far this year, a couple of big finals on the books as well. And here she is.
All right, Aryna, I got a big question for you. What are your plans on Saturday? What are you doing this Saturday? Miami wants to know.
Well, I'll be quite busy playing here, I guess.
Yeah,
Is it Thursday today, right?
Yeah, you're going to be playing in the final, your first final here in Miami. It's been an incredible month for you. You take a look at what happened out at Indian Wells all the way through the finals. Now you're through to another final. The smile on your face really gives me the answer, but I'm going to let you say how happy you are.
I'm super happy. I'm super happy that I was able to give myself another chance, another final, another opportunity to hold a trophy, and I'm super excited for another final, and I cannot wait to play again in front of you guys. You are amazing. I mean, thank you so much for the atmosphere. And I mean, I really see all of the posters you bring. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I mean, that's just incredible. I'm super happy to feel all the support from you.
All right, taking a look real quick at your game today, about how well you played. What are you happiest with about your performance? Jasmine can be tricky, and when you least expect it, she can come back. So what made you so dangerous today?
Yeah, she's an incredible player, and I knew I would have to work for every point against her. And I don't know, honestly, I focused on my serve, and I tried to stay as low as possible because she hit pretty flat and deep ball, so you gotta stay low. So I was just focusing on my movement and on the serve, and yeah, I'm super happy with the level I played.
You played great tennis. We will see you Saturday. She's through to her first final at the Miami Open, ladies and gentlemen. The #1 player in the world, Aryna Sabalenka. Let's get some autograph.
Well, she's in a great place, as she should be, as the very best player in the world.